back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, then my name is Kashish, and in today's video I'm gonna be covering or talking about all the books that I read in the month of August. I know that I'm really late for this video, but I've honestly not had the time and I wanted to shoot some other videos which were more fun. Like wrap-ups are fun, but I just wanted to do something different this month, so I prioritized shooting those videos. If you've not watched the latest one, that's the Smash or Pass. That is something different I did this month, so do watch it if you want to. So yeah, so I don't know if you watched my August TBR video, but in that I said something along the lines of my college is starting again, so I don't think I'll have the chance to read so many books. So I just only picked, I think, 5 books, and yeah, I ended up reading 14 books in the month of August. I don't know how I did, but yeah, I did read 14 books. So this is gonna be a bit of a long video, but do stick around, and like I have some interesting reviews on some of the books that I've read. Like I did read the books from my August TBR. Like I ended up reading 2 out of 5, and like the third one I started at the end of August and I finished it in the first week of September. So yeah, overall I read 3 books from there. So I think fair enough, and let's just get started. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with my 5-star read of August, which was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So yeah, this book has been everywhere like for the past 5 months, and yeah, I finally read it in August. And yeah, I loved it. It's a 5-star for me. Like initially it was a bit slow, but I think it's okay. It's fantasy, so build up, giving it the time to build up. But yeah, and then in between it got a little boring again, and I was not actually vibing with the main couple, that is Zayden and Violet, because they were not there that much. I don't know, we didn't get that many scenes in the start. But yeah, like the second half was amazing, like amazing. It was so fast paced, I couldn't stop reading, and the writing was so simple to like understand. Like if you're not a person who reads fantasy, you would end up enjoying reading this book as well, because it does give you a lot of romance subplot. So it's actually really good when it comes to that aspect. And other than that, my favorite were the dragons. I mean, they are like the highlight of this book. I'm pretty sure if the dragons were not there, I wouldn't have liked this book that much. But yeah, like Taryn, Andarna, Segel, they made this book so much better. So like this is a spoiler for Fourth Wing. So I'll put the timeline and you can just skip it to the next part. So I love how all 5 of them were bonded, because Taryn and Segel are mates, and oh my god, I just loved that they could communicate with each other through their minds. And I was like, yeah, I love that shit, because this was there in Ekotar also. Like Reyes and Farah could communicate that way, like not through their dragons, but yeah, they could communicate through their minds, and I just loved that. And oh my god, like more than Zayden, Taryn was so overprotective of Violet, and I absolutely loved that. And it was amazing. Like I enjoyed it, and I'm just waiting for the second one to come out. Like yeah, the ending was bad, but it was not that bad that I'm just going crazy over the fact that I need the second book now. I need it, but not that much. So yeah, I enjoyed it so much, and it was so nice. And yeah, I do recommend it. And if you're somebody who's not read the fantasy genre, then I think this book would be a great start to that genre. So yeah, enough about Fourth Wing. I'm gonna move on to the next book. And I finally finished The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson in August. So this is the Kiss of Deception trilogy, and this was the last book. This is like around 700 pages, and I gave this book 3 stars. So I went into this book with a lot of expectations, because it's the last book. I get that it's 700 pages. I don't mind reading a book which is 700 pages, but it should have relevant content for me to actually read 700 pages. So yeah, this book was 700 pages, but nothing happened. I was so disappointed with the ending. Like, I love these characters, but I don't know, like the first and the second book was like so much better, but like the last one being 700 pages, like the book ended, but then I didn't feel like I got everything. Like the last 100 pages were so rushed, like the battle and everything important which should have been given a lot of emphasis was not there. So I just, there's this is the only aspect of this book or the series which I didn't like, because you waited so long for the climax to come and then it was not fulfilling. So I guess that's where I got disappointed with this book, because 700 pages, you have to give me something, right? I'm waiting, and then there's these conflicts between the couples is just not getting over. So yeah, it's just somewhere I was like, no, like I love these characters, no doubt about that, but I feel like it could have been written better. It's just sometimes I get very sad because a book, I know that a book has a lot of potential, and then if it does not meet that criteria or that mark, then it feels really sad for me, because this book could have been freaking amazing if it would have been written in the correct timeline or with the correct at the 100-page mark or 150, this has happened and this is gonna happen. Yeah, you get my point. So yeah, I would still recommend this series, because some of you because I'm a person who's used to really high fantasy. Like, I love battle scenes, I like descriptive battle scenes, and even the couples and everything. So I think that's why I felt a little disappointed. But if you're someone who is okay with the fantasy genre, and then you prefer more with the romance, so yeah, you will enjoy this, because because I know a lot of people don't enjoy reading battle scenes and they just skip through it. So yeah, this series might work for you if you're that person. So yeah, but I was sad that the series is over. This is the second book, and coming on to the third book, Heartless by Elsie Silver. So yeah, I'm reading the series with one of my Bookstagram friends, Ananya, and I gave this, I think, 4 stars. Initially I gave it 4.5, but then after sitting on it for a few days, I was like, no, this is not 4.5. I think 4 is more deserving. I don't know if this is only me, but I change my Goodreads rating after a month, or sometimes if I read a book which is very similar, and then I'll just end up comparing, and I'm like, yeah, no, this does not deserve these many stars. So yeah, I do that. If you can relate, then I'm glad, otherwise I'm the crazy person here. So okay, getting back to the book. So the first 200 pages were legit bad, like so bad. So it's like an age gap, nanny romance, single dad. So Villa is Summer's best friend. Summer is the one. Flawless was Summer's book, and this was Cade and Villa's book. The only thing that I enjoyed in the first 200 pages was the relationship that Villa formed with Luke, that is Cade's son. You can see that I've tapped a lot, but most of it is just Villa and Luke's scene. But then after that, it does get a little better, and by the end I really enjoyed it. Like, I knew this book had a lot of potential, and these characters did too, but the first 200 pages were like torture to read. I was like, should I DNF it? Should I? But then I saw a lot of people, then they've loved this book, so I was like, I should give it a chance. And I love the cover. I think it's just the covers that make me wanna read it. I don't know, but yeah, that is what I thought, and I think 4 is deserving, because first half of the book was like very disappointing for me. So I don't know if I should do that. And I liked that this book didn't have, or didn't give so much emphasis to the third act breakup plot, whatever that is. Like, yeah, it felt something was genuine, and that's why they had a little rift, but then they talked it out, she came back, and it was nice. I liked it. And yeah, so 4 stars. And the next book that I read was Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. Okay, so I don't remember how much I rated this. I'm just gonna put it on the screen, because it's been a month since I read it, and I don't remember what. I think I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, so I don't know why, but this it took me like 3 months to finish this book. I don't know what it was. I don't know what was with this book. Like, I was loving it. Like, it's Lucy Score. it's small town romance, and the concept is interesting. You have this big, huge family, small town family, all of them are just there for you 24/7, and I just love that about Lucy Score's books. And yeah, I think I just wanted to savor it. That's why I was reading it slow. But then, there was sometimes there was nothing to just hook me. I was like, oh yeah, I've read one chapter and I can read it tomorrow also. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just I think I just wanted to savor it, and I don't know. It took me 3 months. I did also read this with one of my best friends. So yeah, I think she was also busy, and even I was not getting the time. So I think that's why we read it slowly. I don't know if she finished it or not till now, but yeah, this is amazing. Like, Silas was so whipped for her from the start. I was like, yes, this is what I want. Like, I've highlighted so many quotes in this book, and it's like he met her for the second time and he's like, she's gonna be my wife, I'm gonna marry that woman. I'm like, yes, this is the kind of certainty you need in life. I'm like, you have to know from the first look or the second meeting at least. So it was such a fun read, and like there was a part that it included a bit of an adventure and mystery. That was so fun, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, and it's just I love Lucy Score. She's my favorite, so I know that she'll never disappoint me when it comes to her books. So yeah, Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score, definitely recommend it. And then the next book that I read was The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. I gave this 4.25 stars. Yes, I think I'm remembering it correctly. So it's a single dad romance. Our main character Felicity is an author, and Connor is a producer. So he wants to produce a reality show where he wants Felicity to be the main character. And before the show airs, they spend a lot of time, and that's how they kind of form this connection. But then that in that reality show she has to date like 11 or 8 men, and I think that's when they feel like, yeah, this will not work out between us. But this book was so good. Like, I don't know if you watched my 24-hour reading vlog, but I was going crazy behind this book because I written that video. But it was so good. I loved Felicity's character. She is such a sunshine, and like Connor was so cute. Like, he's British, cute. I mean, their accent is just what makes up for everything. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so I really liked this, and even the single dad aspect was so good. And then I got to also see the characters from the first book as well. That was the soulmate equation. It was just a fun read. Like, you can just read it in one sitting. It was that good. Like, I didn't finish it in one sitting because that's not something I can do. I envy people who can do that. But yeah, I did enjoy it. And after this, I read To Be Continued by Grace Woods. Okay, so Grace Woods was so kind to send me such a beautiful PR package of this book. And I'm gonna put the picture here because she sent me a lot of cute stuff, and I loved it. Thank you so much. And so this is the first book in the To Be Continued series, and it's about Luke and Ashley. So it's like a billionaire romance and kind of fake dating. No, not fake dating, but it's just nice. So like I loved the meet cute. Like they meet in a bookstore, and they both are just gonna going to like buy the same book, but then he lets her buy it, and then after that she gives him the same one because coincidences, they meet again. So yeah, she gives him the book, and like I loved that meet cute. And I think this is her debut novel, and it's been written so well. Like, there were 2-3 things that I didn't like, but overall I enjoyed reading this book so much. Like, it's a cute, simple, slow read. You can just again, you can read it in one sitting. It's that good. And I just enjoyed the whole relationship of theirs. Like, it felt very natural and very realistic. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And they meet again at a book club. Like, she is in a book club, and all of them decide to go on a trip, and turns out that the place where they're staying is one of the members' house, and her husband is Luke's friend. So they end up meeting there, And like even that part was so cute. And then they come back again to real life, they go on dates and then they start dating together. I mean, it was so cute, and I don't know, I really liked it, and I'm just waiting for the second book. It comes out in October, and I just want to know what happens next, because the first book did not end on a well note. So I just want to know what happens next, and I'm really waiting for it. Yeah, and the next book that I read was I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. So this was in my August TBR. I gave it 3 stars. Like, I just feel like this book could have been so much better if I forgot the main character's name. Just give me. If Poppy could take better decisions in life. Like, I like a good rom-com, but after a while I just don't like to see the female main character being so dumb all around, and you're just stumbling over things and just creating problems for no apparent. I know that this is a book, there has to be a plot, but it can't always keep going on. There has to be a stop. So it's like she creates one problem, then something else, then something else, then something else, and something else. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating there, but yeah, I did enjoy it. The banter was amazing. So like what happens is that she loses her engagement ring, and then while trying to find that engagement ring, she finds a phone, and it turns out that it's this billionaire guy whose assistant's phone is that, and it's like all of his contacts and everything about his life is in there. And she's like, and yeah, after she lost her ring, she lost her phone too. So yeah, so she thought that finders keepers, I'm gonna keep this phone with me. And then she starts chatting with that guy, and then being like, this all has happened in my life, and I need this phone for a while, and if you want, I can help you out with your emails and messages. So like she starts forwarding everything to them, and they talk a lot, and in between she she understands that her fiance's family and stuff like that is not working out. So yeah, it's really nice. Do read it. It's a good one-time read. I'm pretty sure you guys would enjoy it more than me. It's just I feel like the female main character was just getting on my nerves a lot. I'm like, please just take one good decision in your life, just one good decision that would do you so much good. That's all I want to say about it. But yeah, it was really nice. I enjoyed reading it, and I'm so glad it's off my TBR now. And yeah, the next book that I read was We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faisal. Yeah, so I gave this 3.5 stars. Again, I don't remember. So this is also enemies to lovers, I have come to kill you, magic, fantasy, romance, disappointing. I was really hoping that the second book would be better. Like, it was in some aspects, but overall, again, it disappointed me. I read 150 pages, then I kept it because I was like, I'm gonna DNF this book. I was so sure, but I can't DNF books, especially if I have a paperback of it. I'm gonna try to finish it. So I did finish it, and it's just the way things unraveled and unfolded. I was not a fan of that. Like, it's like the main couple is freaking amazing. I loved them and everything that happened with them, but it's just I felt like they could have gotten together much before. It's like in the end till the end, they're like not together. They just tiptoeing around each other, being like, do we want to be together and stuff like that. And I was so frustrated with that. I was like, why are you guys so indecisive? Please take a decision in your life. And I was like, please yaar, matlab aise mat karo na mere sath. I really like Altair. Again, he was my favorite. I'm gonna say it. Felt like this author just killed characters just because it was convenient. It didn't. Sometimes when characters die in books, it has to be justified, and it has to seem natural. In this book, every character that has died was just because we want the main character to have much more of a sob story. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but that's how I felt. Now let's move on to the books that I read on my Kindle. Yes, I'm gonna go and check now which books I read because I forgot. Just give me a moment and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. And the first book which I read on my Kindle in August was That Kind of Guy by Stephanie Archer. So this was also a buddy read with one of my Bookstagram friends, and I gave this 5 stars. Like, this was my second 5-star read of August. I loved it. Like, it was the easiest 5 stars I've ever given to a book. Like, it was fake dating, then fake fiance, then marriage of convenience, and small town romance. And I just loved it. Like, the banter was so good, the characters were so good, and it's just, I really enjoyed it. I think it had been a lot of time since I'd read a fake dating book, so I think that's why I enjoyed this a lot. But I don't know, it was really nice and really cute. The banter was so fun. It's such a cute rom-com. Yeah, so I will just say please go and read it. And then the next book that I read was Unbreak Me. I don't remember the author's name, but yeah, I gave this 3 stars. So I think I saw this book on a reel. So I think she's a single mother, and I think her husband is really abusive, and that's why she runs away with her daughter and ends up in this town where this guy Easton helps her out and hires her as his housekeeper, because he sees that they've been sleeping in the car for the past few days. And when he brings them home, we see that there are 2 more guys, like the 3 guys living together. They've been in the military, and they've done their service, and now they've started their own business. And like, they're all rich, like all of them are very rich, like they have family money, but then they had their own savings also saved up. Yeah, okay, so I'm not gonna reveal the whole plot, but yeah, so I didn't know that she was gonna end up with all 3. I just thought that Easton was the main character, but the other 2 guys, so I didn't know that she was gonna end up with all 3 of them. But I don't know, I just weirdly enjoyed that book so much because they were so good to her kid, and that kid made that book so much better. I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but yeah, I loved how all 3 of them were like just spoiling her like anything. And then again, they were so good to the mother as well. I forgot her name too. I can't believe this is not me. I don't forget names of characters. Oh my god, I feel bad. They were actually written really well, and like the growth of her being this scared and lonely, and then moving on to actually loving all of them was like really beautiful, and I really liked that. And yeah, that was the second book. And the third one was Ruthless Salvation by Jill Ramsor. So this was an arc. Thank you so much for sending it to me. And this book was a 3.5 stars. So this one was about Torin and Stormy. So I really like Jill Ramsor's books. Like, she writes mafia romances, but like in a very realistic, from a very realistic point of view. So I really enjoy that. And this one was also really nice. Like, I loved the couple, and it's kind of told in the past and present timeline to understand Stormy's past and then how she ended up working for him. And it's just, there was this one aspect of the book which was like, Torin was kind of like a stalker. Like, she used to go home and he used to follow her. Like, he went to make sure that she reaches home safely, because she used to get off really early in the morning. I get that, but then I don't know, I'm just not fond of that trope or that kind of things that, like, he did everything else that was amazing, like no questions there, but it's just this one thing that was really nagging at me till the end. And then he pulled 2-3 things as well which were like really annoying to me. So I guess that's why I gave it 3.5. Otherwise it legit would have been like a 4 or a 4.5 star read, because I was really waiting for them, and I loved their banter in the second book of this series. This is the third book in the Band Brothers series. Probably should have said this in the start, but yeah, it's okay. I'm really excited about Oren's book though. Like, we got 1 chapter, I think, or like a blurb, I'm not sure, in the end, but it was so good. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it desperately. Yeah, and then the last book that I read on my Kindle was Not a Love Marriage by Maya Arden. So yeah, this was also gifted to me by the author. Thank you so much. And I gave this 3 stars. So again, this is also part of the series, but I think I read the third one straight away because that is the one I liked. That is the one she sent me. And it was about Forrest and Daisy. So it started off on a very rocky path, and I was not really enjoying the writing too much. But then after that, it did, get into the story pretty well, and I did kind of start liking it. But Forrest's character was, I don't know what to say. Like he did something really bad in the start, and I don't think I can forgive him for that. But he said the best things to Daisy, and I actually really enjoyed Daisy's character because she was so upfront with him about everything, and it just didn't take any shit from him because yeah, he did pull a lot of shit. So that was something where I was in double minds if this is something I like or if I don't like. But yeah, I think overall it was a good reading experience for me, and I think this is only the third book by this author. So I wish her the best, and I'm really hoping that the next book she comes up with, I hope I fall in love because her books do have a lot of potential. And so yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Not a Love Marriage, sorry. So it's like I think it's a second chance romance, and I think a surprise pregnancy. Yeah, that was nice. I like that aspect. Okay, now coming on to the last book, which I read was The Christmas Party by Karen Swan. So that was, I don't have the physical copy with me right now because one of my friends took it to read it. But that was also one of the books which I chose in my August TBR video, and oh my god, I think that was also 5 stars. Again, I don't remember, my bad, sorry. But yeah, I think it was 5 stars. Yeah, it was 5 stars. I enjoyed it so much. Like the plot line was so good. Like I have told you guys, I love Karen Swan's books, and I love how underrated they are. No, I don't like how underrated they are. Like I really want more people to read her books, but it's just the fact that whenever I recommend a favorite author of mine and the other person does not end up liking that book, I hate that feeling. So it's just, sometimes I just want to safeguard some of my favorite books. I don't know if you know what I mean, if you understand what I mean, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But it was amazing. Like it's told in so it was about these 3 sisters, and like the youngest sister ends up inheriting the castle. So her father was like a knight of Ireland, and the youngest sister ends up inheriting it because the dad left it for her. And then there's this secret going behind the back, something that we don't know about her. And the third sister, she moved away, and like the other 2 stayed with their parents only, like around the property. So yeah, it's really nice. So we see all 3 of them getting into relationships, falling in love, and it's like the characters are very flawed. Like if you read her books, the characters are genuinely flawed, but I think that's something that I really like because it gives such a realistic feel to that book. And the way Lone is the place that's the place where the book is set. It sounded so pretty. Oh my god, I want to go there. It sounded so cute, and it's just, I loved all 3 couples. Like every sister got to be with someone, and I just loved it. Like again, her being keeping romance as a subplot, we didn't get much, but the crumbs she gives you of those characters are so good that you just crave. Every time I finish a Karen Swan book, I crave more because I didn't get enough from these couples. I know that it's not something a lot of people might not like, but I love that about her books, that I get something, but then I still crave, and I know I'm never gonna get it. So that's a feeling I also like. I never knew I liked it, but yeah, that's the feeling I only get when I read her books. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.